start. How's everybody doing today? All good?
Yeah, all good. Alhamdulillah.
Yes, getting better day by day.
Right. I know it's almost impossible to believe at the beginning that you could ever get out of the fatigue and the headaches and the body aches, but it's like a fog clearing, and it only gets better. It gets better and better and better. And in terms of any of you who have symptoms, deep symptoms, medical conditions, this is your first step. It will take time. With like deep medical conditions, it could take 3 to 6 months, but we know that it works. We can never say how long, but we know that it works. Other things, you're just going to start to feel better within days from now, just within weeks from now. You're going to start to feel a huge, huge difference. Even by the time we just finish we actually have 28 days together, not 21. So we have 21 days, and then we have a week bonus. So even just by the time we get to the end of the 28 days, you're going to feel even better than what you're feeling today. So I'm so happy that, and this usually happens around today, around the 1 week mark, most of you will start to feel a little bit better. Some of you might take a little bit longer. Doesn't mean that some of you are doing it better than others, or does it mean something is wrong with you if you're not? Everybody's coming into this with very different livers, right? Very different livers, very different toxic loads, very different patterns, very different experiences with food, very different genetics. So it is a one set healing protocol, because the mechanism that breaks down inside us is the same. That's why everybody has all these different symptoms and conditions, but the way to treat it is the same, because it's all caused by inflammation, and inflammation is caused by very specific foods and drinks and stress and air and all of that. But in terms then of how is the body going to respond to this healing protocol, how fast is it going to respond? That's where it's different. It doesn't mean that you need a different healing protocol. It doesn't mean that, and I see this happen sometimes when people feel like it's not working, like it's been 2 weeks and I'm not healed. You can't be healed perfectly in 2 weeks. If you've had something that you've been carrying with you, especially even just 6 months, it's not going to go away in 2 weeks. Let's just have some perspective here. But what happens though, if at 2 weeks or even at the end of the program, they're not 100% ticking off all the boxes, like this is gone and this is gone and this is gone, then again, this goes back to a diet mentality. Let me go find the next best thing. When in reality, all you need to do is just stay consistent with this process, consistent with staying with what you're doing. I keep saying it over and over. It is kind of boring. It is. It's just doing the same stuff over and over again, but it's doing the same stuff over and over and over again that gives you incredible results. Tomorrow, of course, we're going to break this monotony a little bit with your juice day. So tomorrow is going to be a completely different day, just liquid, just juice. Only at the end of the day, if you feel like having an apple, you can have 1 apple, but tomorrow is going to be different. And that's why I always schedule it so that you do it on a Friday. You need to be home, you need to be relaxed, you need to be prepared. I also know, because it's Friday, maybe some of you, all of you, like to sleep in a little bit on Friday. It's a more relaxed day. You're not waking up at 5 a.m. necessarily to get your day started. You want to sleep in a bit. You want to, you really want to enjoy your day off. So if you're one of those people who does that, then I recommend you prep at least the first half of your day in terms of drinks. Prep them tonight. Put them in your fridge. That's perfectly fine, so that you don't have to wake up and feel like tomorrow is a day off and I have to wake up and make all of these juices and things. Prep them tonight, put them in your fridge, so then you can wake up whenever you want to wake up tomorrow. It is your day off. Have your juices ready. Drink them for the first few hours of the day. And then when you're awake and, and you've gotten your day started, you can make the juices for the rest of the day. You could also just make all the juices for the whole day today. If you really don't want to spend time tomorrow in the kitchen, you really just want to also conserve your energy for the whole juicing experience, you can do that. If you hadn't thought of that already, I'm letting you know that it's perfectly fine for you to store the juices in really airtight jars, though. That's important that you have very airtight jars. Make them, store them all the way inside your refrigerator, not in the doors, because the doors are the least cooling part of your refrigerator. You want them to be in the most cooling part. and relax and enjoy all of your drinks tomorrow. Other than that, I think the only other piece of advice I would give you about tomorrow is not to be surprised. Not to be surprised if you've been constipated and all of a sudden you end up with diarrhea, or you've been normal and all of a sudden you're in the bathroom every half hour. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. Doesn't mean your body's reacting badly. The juicing is going to another level of cleansing and detoxing. It is going straight to the liver. It's going to push out, you know, if it's sort of like a bottleneck or like a corkscrew and it suddenly gets released, you might have all of this release happening. You might, if you've been full of energy and then tomorrow you go and juice and you find yourself more tired and you find yourself with headaches that are coming back, I just don't want you to be surprised at anything or worried about anything. Literally with juicing, anything can happen, right? That's why I say stay home and relax and let your body do what it needs to do. Anybody have any questions for me? All right. And then of course, Saturday, hang Randa, 1 second. Saturday, you're going to move on to the next thing. And thank you for all of you who have reached out to me and told me what you want to be doing to continue. It's great. Do that. You have your plan starting Saturday. If you haven't yet decided, if you're confused, please reach out to me today because I'm off this weekend. Last weekend, I was there for you guys. This weekend, you guys know what you're doing. I won't be available this weekend. So if you need to find out or you're confused about what you're going to do on Saturday, reach out to me today, please. All right. Randa, go ahead.
Hi, Dana. Regarding the juice for tomorrow, you said 2 times 500 milli apple and cucumber, right? So we
Yes.
juice them together?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. And if you need more, have more. Like though, that's the minimum, right? If you feel thirsty, you still feel like hungry, you still feel like you want to have more, make more. You can't do it wrong if you decide to have more. You can't do it wrong if you decide to have less. So please don't have less. Have the minimum, which is the quantity in the plan, but you know we never let ourselves go hungry here. There's no point. Why? If you feel like you need to have more, have more. If you feel like you need to have more orange juice, have as much orange juice as you want. If you want to have like some plain apple juice on top of the apple cucumber, you can do that. Always start with the baseline of the plan and then add to it. Anybody else have a question or a comment for me? Oh, this is going to be like our quickest call ever. Noah, go ahead. Noah, if you're speaking, unmute yourself, please. I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Again, same problem.
Okay, go
Hi,
ahead.
Dana.
Hi.
Hi, Dana. One of the ladies asked last week a question about not losing weight.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? You answered, yes, I know you answered. You said it's all sorts of things, but is there anything like stubborn fat or low metabolism? Because when I first started with you several years back, during the first 2 weeks, I lost quite a bit. And this time, nothing. And this is actually one of my main aims this time.
Right. Well, here's the thing that happens with let's call it stubborn weight for whatever reason, right? Noah, when was the last time you did a program? 5 years ago or less than that?
No, I had a round with you in 22, the beginning of 20, I think February. It was January or February, I don't remember, but it was definitely 2022.
Okay.
Because I remember it was after my COVID.
Okay. And then what happened then?
I lost some weight.
Okay.
But there is something very strange that I noticed about my body when I was in hospital or during COVID.
Yeah.
I was 2 weeks with nothing, only liquid diet, and my box was written on it, liquid diet. I wasn't in Egypt anyway, and I never lost any weight. 2 whole weeks with only a liquid diet.
Yeah. Okay, so there's several reasons why this could happen. The main one, the more general one, like if there's nothing medically, you don't have any medical conditions, the main one that happens is when you come into this program and you're dehydrated on any level, and by dehydrated, I don't mean that you're drinking a lot of water, you're not drinking a lot of water. I mean, you're dehydrated as in your body doesn't take in enough of the live hydration from fruits and vegetables, which is what almost everybody is, because I don't think anybody coming into this program, unless they've done my programs before, have ever consumed this amount of fruits and vegetables before. So when you consume this amount of fruits and vegetables, they're full of liquid. They're full of hydration, all right? So this is why you might not know, I don't know what kind of liquid plan you were on in hospital, but the difference between even hydration from water and the hydration you get from these fruits and vegetables is that this hydration carries with it the live vitamins, the live minerals, the phytonutrients, the antioxidants. It carries with it live nutrition, basically, which is something that everybody's missing, just not getting it. Everybody's used to eating what we call the dry, dead, and dumb foods, right? The bread, the cheese, the cereals, the oats, the pasta, the popcorn, the alcohol, the coffee, like we call these dry, dead, and dumb foods. They're not alive. There's literally no life in these foods. So when you flood your body with foods that are literally bursting with, cells, they're bursting with a livelihood, your body's going to hang on to that because it's been missing it for so long. And relative then to the state of your liver also. So this is the one that's sort of the general thing, that most people are just dehydrated on this level. Beyond that, what we see is a liver that doesn't trust you. A liver that's like, you know what? I've seen you go through this process over and over and over. I've seen you go from one diet to the next. And every time I kind of go along with you and I let you sort of lose the weight, but I'm getting really tired of this. I'm getting really tired of you jumping from one next thing to the next. I need something that's more permanent. I need something that's going to fix me. I need something that's going to fix me and you. So it doesn't trust you. Even though this time you're doing something that's long-term. And this is why you shouldn't look at this as a diet and then drop it and move on to something else, because your liver is gonna be like, I knew it. I couldn't trust her. So right now your liver is still trying to figure out if it's going to trust you or not. This is the right thing that you're doing for it and for you. And because it doesn't trust you, it's not going to sort of support you this time. You've done it so many times before. You've gone through the process so many times before, and the liver is like, you know what? I'm done. To the extent that you might even gain weight, because the liver's like, when it starts to feel like what you're doing now might be the thing that actually heals you and might be the thing that actually is the last thing that you do, it starts to think, all right, I can give her a little bit, I'll give her a little bit of trust here. Let me give her a little bit of trust. But that means that then the liver is going to have to reset. And that's what your livers, all of you, that's what your livers are doing now. They're resetting. Yes. And because it's resetting, because it's going back all the way to the beginning, you might even gain weight as the liver recalibrates with what's happening with you. So this is just a completely different process. And it really is. And again, if now there's a medical condition, so anybody with deep autoimmune or something like endometriosis or in any thyroid condition, obviously the body's priority and the liver's priority is going to be healing first. The body's not going to even bother with weight or prioritize weight loss if it needs to heal first. Heal first, get rid of your symptoms, and then it will start to release the weight. In all cases, it's only been 1 week. Because, and this is not your fault.
True, yes.
And this is not anybody's fault, is that if you've ever gone to a traditional nutritionist or dietitian, in which I went to like all of them before I became a health coach, they promise you 2 to 3 kilos a week minimum, right? They promise you weight loss of like really fast weight loss of 2 to 3 kilos a week. And then if you don't, then you've done something wrong. That is an insane amount of weight to lose per week. It's a scary amount of weight to lose per week. But that's, we got into that's the normal. Well, yeah, I'm going to go to a dietitian and I'm going to lose 2 to 3 kilos a week. That's not how the body wants to lose weight. Over time, this is going to create problems. But then when you come into any kind of nutrition plan, that's kind of the expectation. So that after 1 week, if you haven't lost anything, then what's wrong with my body, or what's wrong with me, or what did I do wrong? When it's that other programming that was the mistake before. So what I've typically seen with women who've had slower weight loss, one, stop thinking about it, because thinking about it, you know, we have this thing that says what you resist persists. So if you keep focusing on it, and what you keep getting what you focus on. So if you keep focusing on weight loss and you keep resisting the idea that healing takes time, it's going to persist with you. So this is a psychological piece also. But what I've seen with ladies who the weight loss is slower than they're expecting. I don't think it's slow at all. I think it's just right. But in their minds, it's slower than they're expecting. They will stay steady with no weight loss. And then when their body and their liver becomes more confident that, you know, the hydration is not temporary, we're going to keep getting more of this hydration, and the liver gets on board that this is a healing journey and we're finally doing the right thing, everything releases. And that could be 3 or 4 weeks later of doing everything and following the plan exactly, and nothing shifts, and then the weight suddenly drops. So because this is healing and it's not a diet, focus on your symptoms, focus on where you're seeing the shift and the changes in your body. I don't even have a scale anymore. I can't recommend that enough, to just take the scale and get rid of it. The scale doesn't tell you anything. It doesn't tell you anything. It's just a number. That's it. And that number, if you were to jump on your scale every hour, every day, you're going to get a different number. Literally, if you were to weigh yourself every hour, you know, on the clock for one whole day, you're going to get a different reading every single hour. Your scale doesn't tell you how your energy levels are, how your sleeping is, how your skin is looking, how your hair is doing, how your aches and pains are going, how your joints are doing. It doesn't tell you anything. It's this, and really at the core of it all, it is this theory about how much everybody should weigh. It's a theory, like it's not even 100% correct. We actually don't know with any exact science how much anybody should weigh exactly. Like we have these like ranges, right? Like we can tell you in terms of, you know, when somebody weighs like too much, or if it's like dangerously obese or something. But beyond that, it really is not an exact science, and it can be so frustrating. So I invite you all, put the scale away. If you've been jumping on the scale every single day during this process so far, put it away for the rest of the 3 weeks. Put it away. Nothing's going to happen. Put it away and relax into the process. Relax into what trust more than anything that your body knows what it's doing and your body knows how to heal, and focus more on waking up every day. And instead of getting on the scale, wake up every day and ask yourself, how am I feeling? Physically and emotionally, because, you know, they're both connected. Yesterday, we talked about mental and emotional health with the thought model. This is how you're going to create a different foundation for yourself, where you're not thrown off by a number on a scale that really, when you think about it, doesn't tell you anything, because you could be, and this has happened to me, the perfect weight, but sick as hell, feeling miserable, can't get out of bed, you know, sick of my life, sick of my kids, sick of my husband, sick of everything. But the number on the scale was, yes, didn't do anything. Number on the scale, it doesn't do anything beyond tell you, congratulations for depriving yourself. Because that's what it was back then, diets, that's all. Congratulations on eating less food than a baby or whatever it is. So I want you to, and this is a lot of, when I say you're going to unlearn and learn and relearn, this is one of those things, right? Unlearn the habit of getting on a scale and relearn how to measure, if that's the word we want to use, measure your success in another way. Unlearn it. It's not a habit that has served anyone. I don't know anybody who has a scale and the scale makes them happy long term. It can make us happy for a short while, and then at some point it makes us depressed. So why would you do that to yourself when there's so many other ways for you to feel good and so many other ways for you to measure the way that your body is healing and the way you're moving forward? All right. Does that answer your question, Noha?
Yes, thanks a million. Thanks a lot for all this information. Thanks. But in any case, I feel so much lighter, and I lose a lot of water from my body. I keep going to the bathroom 10 times a day.
That's good. The water is important because water, if you're flushing water, and even if somebody's got diarrhea, right, your body has to flush this first, because believe it or not, water is one of the ways your body protects you against inflammation. So, you know, like when you go and you have a meal, like let's say you go have a burger, you have a pizza, you have a really heavy meal, and the next day you wake up and like your rings are tight, or you feel like, you know, my pants fit really well.
Yes,
Today
true.
I woke up and my pants are a bit tight. And you think, oh my God, and you get on the scale and it looks like you gained a kilo overnight from one meal. That's not actually fat weight. That is water retention, because one of the ways instantly that your body tries to protect you from inflammatory foods is it increases the water in your body. It holds on to the water. It literally buffers your organs and your body from the toxins that you just consumed. And that's why you feel like everything, all of a sudden, I was fine yesterday and I woke up today and everything is really tight. It's like your body goes like this to protect you. So that's another reason. If the body is inflamed, right now you're not inflamed, but think about other times when you weren't detoxing, you weren't eating all these fruits and vegetables, and you get bloated. Every single time your body does that, it's to protect you. And it's only going, and now that you're flushing it all out, that's a good thing, because that means like the body's not worried about inflammation anymore. Your body's not worrying about using water to protect you from inflammation. So in order to, first you get rid of the water, then you get rid of the inflammation, then you get rid of the symptoms, then you get rid of the weight. So there's sort of layers your body has to go through. So this is a really, really good sign too, Noha.
Good, thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Anybody else have a question for me today? Everybody's all good? All right. Okay, those of you who haven't told me what you're doing, moving on, if you're repeating the 9 days, if you're doing hybrid, if you're doing clean eating, or if you're confused, please reach out to me today so that you are clear. By the time you finish your juice day tomorrow, you know exactly what you're going to do on Saturday. All right, ladies, have an amazing weekend, and no video tomorrow or Saturday, and I will see you all on Sunday. All right, bye ladies.